It's been a relatively quiet transfer window so far for Bristol City, and we're recording on the 12th of January, and we expect that not too much business will go on this month, but in Liam Manning's first transfer window as City head coach, there will possibly be a few departures and also some incomings. We'll be talking about some positions and some players who we've been rumoured with, players we've missed out on, and one big departure set to be announced. Well, let's start with the imminent departure then. Andy Weimann is set to leave Bristol City after 5.5 years at Ashton Gate. Now, this makes me a little bit sad, and I'm quite gutted about this, if I'm being brutally honest. Andy Weimann's a fan favourite down here in the West Country. He's really well liked within the City fans. He gave us that one incredible season where he scored 22 goals, I believe, and basically kept us up single-handedly. Him, Chris Martin, Antoine Semenyo, all now set to be no longer at the football club. It's very sad. However, from a completely football point of view, his contract's up at the end of the season. He's 32 years old. He doesn't look like he's getting anywhere near those levels he showed 2 years ago. And from a wages point of view as well, he will undoubtedly be one of the highest earners at City as well. So his offloading may actually give us some leeway and some leverage in terms of wages to be able to bring another player in to replace Andy Weimann. West Brom are the club, fellow championship rivals to Bristol City, set to sign Andy Weimann. We are still unsure whether it's going to be a permanent deal or a loan deal. If it's a loan deal, it'll be until the end of the season, and then he can sign for West Brom or any other club on a free transfer. Actually, if it's a permanent deal, well, it'll be a permanent deal. He'll be at West Brom as a permanent player. Still unsure about that. The fact that it's West Brom, though, it is quite interesting because Taylor Gardner-Hickman is on loan from West Brom at Bristol City, and he has mightily impressed in a City shirt so far. Fan favourite very quickly he's become here in the West Country. So I think Weimann actually may be used as a bit of a bargaining chip, perhaps, to get that Taylor Gardner-Hickman deal down eventually, if and when City do trigger that release, that buy clause to sign Taylor Gardner-Hickman on a permanent deal. I think it'd be absolutely mental if we don't. So maybe that is in the thoughts of Liam Manning and the hierarchy at Bristol City, just to get that Taylor Gardner-Hickman price a little bit down. And obviously, Taylor Gardner-Hickman on a permanent deal would be suiting us for 4-5 years in the future. So that would just be brilliant as well. So overall thoughts, I'm not, from a football perspective, it makes sense. 6 months left on his deal, would get some money for him perhaps, whatever the nominal fee is. But from a purely human side of things, he gave us that one incredible season where it was just fun going forward. But his form has deteriorated in the last 18 months or so, hasn't really given us much end product, and unfortunately, I don't think he's in Liam Manning's plans either. So very sad to see Andy Weimann go, but not overly surprised either. The other departure that has just been confirmed by the club, actually, is that Sam Pearson has left Bristol City by mutual consent. His contract has been terminated. He only made 5 appearances in a Bristol City shirt. He's had multiple loan spells across the divisions. I wish him good luck in his next steps, but he won't be a big miss in a Bristol City squad. One player has come through the door at Bristol City. We are still not very clear on the fact that whether he's going to go straight into the first team or academy system, and that's Adam Murphy. Obviously, I talked about him quite extensively during the summer, where he was heavily linked to Bristol City as well, and it was actually all agreed he had come to the High Performance Centre and agreed everything. The move just collapsed from St. Pat's, so he is impressed. It's again in the League of Ireland, and I think 18 or 17 years old. He is brilliant player and a brilliant prospect for the future, so won't overly be surprised if he's not used this season, but definitely one for the future. Potential incomings then, not really too much in the way of transfer rumours or strong transfer rumours. A couple of rumours being put to bed, and just generally not too much activity in the transfer rumour mill from a Bristol City perspective, which is not unusual during a January transfer window. But Bristol City is certainly in the market for an attacking midfielder, creative midfielder. Liam Manning outlined that very clearly in one of his interviews with the club, where he said he wanted someone who's clever and quite aware of what to do in those final third regions. And Bristol City at the moment just seemingly lack that in terms of breaking down opposition who sit back and quite resolute defensively. So, as a result, a couple of players have been linked. One looked like it was much more in the pipeline than the other. Azaz was very, very strongly linked as soon as he was about to move to Middlesbrough. Liam Manning said it was one that he liked, and I'm not overly surprised, really. His age is good, his profile is good. He's had success in League One and has had success so far in his first 6 months in the Championship at Plymouth. He was only on loan at Home Park. He was on loan from Aston Villa. And at 2.5 million, which is reportedly the fee Aston Villa sold him to Middlesbrough for, not a bad deal, I'd suggest, similar to what we paid for Ross McCrory and Jason Knight, obviously. So it was something that Bristol City were definitely in the market for. That just didn't go through because ultimately Azaz went to Middlesbrough instead of Bristol City. The other attacking midfielder is Scott Twine, and he's quite a high-profile name, isn't he? And the obvious link is Scott Twine played with Liam Manning, or was played under Liam Manning, even at MK Dons in his arguably most successful season of his career. Liam Manning really got the best out of him at MK Dons. He's obviously now on loan at Hull under Liam Senior. They would be reluctant to let him go, but I suppose they don't really have the power in that if there is a clause in the January transfer window for Burnley to activate. Burnley, though, are looking for something in the region of 5 million, which is just absolutely not happening. From a Bristol City perspective, we are not spending 5 million on someone in the January transfer window, let alone in the summer transfer window. We're just not spending 5 million on anyone, and I think that would be ludicrous to do so. I think we could spend, if we do have 5 million available, spend that in so many more different areas and a few more different positions, I'd suggest. So Scott Twine, as much as he's a fantastic player and has worked under Liam Manning before and has had success under Bristol City's current head coach, it just would be completely ludicrous to spend the reported fee that is being branded about for Scott Twine. Rodrigo Muniz has also been vaguely linked with Bristol City. He is obviously at Fulham. He had a previous loan spell up at Middlesbrough. That didn't work out for him. A couple of summers ago, actually, Fulham signed him from the Brazilian league for somewhere in the region of 7 million, which is a lot, considering they were in the Championship back then. Obviously, he wasn't going to play ahead of Alexander Mitrovic. He's had a bit more of a chance, a couple of starts in the last few games for Fulham, but they are actively looking to move him on. And he would be available, possibly on a loan deal. Wages, again, would be an issue because it always is when you're loaning in from a Premier League club. QPR said to be interested as well, but that is all very, very just a complete rumour mill at the moment. Nothing concrete in that at the moment. But Bristol City, I'd say, are also in the market for a striker at the moment, and Liam Manning has said that. Somewhere in the forward regions, and with Andy Weimann set to leave, I wouldn't be surprised if we are in for a versatile forward as well. Let's end on the fun ones, shall we? There was a somewhat report, I will not call it a report, it is completely demeaning to actual reports, that Chris Martin was linked with the return to Bristol City and to QPR. I will just leave that there. I'm not going to talk about that in any sort of detail whatsoever. I love Chris Martin for winning 2 derby games, I believe. Well, basically single-handedly. The one during lockdown away at Cardiff and the one at home to Cardiff where we won 3-2 under Nigel Pearson. That is about the extent I'm going to say. Chris Martin, love the bloke, love what he did, especially in that Weimann and Semenyo complex as well. Front three, he was absolutely brilliant and really, really effective. But no, it's absolutely not. He's playing at Bristol Rovers, and that would, again, add a layer of complexity I just don't want anywhere near this football club at the moment. 35 years old. I'm happy if he's doing well in League One. However, don't think he's ready or good enough to make his step back up to the Championship at the moment. That is it, though. Thank you very much for watching this transfer roundup. As I said, it's been very quiet from a Bristol City perspective. Not a lot has been going on. I've tried my best to keep somewhat up to date with these kind of credible transfer news, and maybe some outgoings could lead to some potential incomings in the next few days. Who knows? In the next few weeks, hopefully, as well. Thank you very much for watching. Keep safe, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.